There's some of the exclusive few who are still able to travel to Canada.
¿Trabajador agrícola? ¿Eres trabajador agrícola? Por aquí, por favor. ¿Tienes un número de WhatsApp donde podamos enviar información sobre la cuarentena? De nada.
Every year, 60,000 foreign temporary workers come for seasonal jobs across the country.
¿Primera vez en Canadá?
No, yo ya mi tercera temporada.
Voy al campo, a la verdura. En el país en que estamos no hay trabajo.
Tenemos miedo, pero también es mucha la necesidad que tenemos de trabajar.
Today, they start their new contract in the middle of the pandemic. Michel Pilon and his Spanish-speaking contributors offered to help during their stay in Canada.
On a un dépliant sur la COVID en espagnol pour les travailleurs étrangers d'origine mexicaine et guatémaltèque. On a quelques Honduriens aussi qui viennent. Ces travailleurs-là, quand ils arrivent ici, doivent faire 14 jours de confinement obligatoire. On leur explique leurs droits là-dedans. Ils ont des permis fermés. Ils ne peuvent pas changer d'employeur. Alors, les employeurs ont un bon bout du bâton. Hein.
The seasonal agricultural worker program is essential for Canadian harvests, but it's not risk-free. This year, at least 3 workers have died. Rogelio Muñoz, Bonifacio Eugenio, and Juan Lopez Chaparro, aged between 24 and 55 years old, were killed by COVID-19. They were far from their families in Mexico. They all worked here in the south of Ontario, an area full of farms and full of cases of coronavirus.
¿Qué más hacemos? Está fuerte la calor.
Workers are not allowed to leave the farm. One of them agreed to talk to us on a Sunday, his only day off in the week.
Estamos encerrados desde que llegamos, bueno, desde marzo que empezó esto. No hemos estado saliendo. Nos dan líquido para desinfectar las casas, la prueba del coronavirus. Si uno lo quería hacer, pues estaba bien, y si no, pues el patrón dijo no hay ningún problema. No era obligatorio. Como no salimos, no sabemos en realidad nada. No sé si exista o solo sea mito. Muchos dicen que no existe.
Farms with outbreaks declined our request for interviews or to film. This exclusive footage filmed by workers who want to remain anonymous appears to show there is no protective equipment available in the greenhouses. Several sources told us some of the housing is allegedly infected with roaches and bed bugs.
No funciona.
Workers allege up to 5 people are piled in one room, which they say makes it impossible to keep the distance required by authorities. Workers' rights associations across the country are demanding more transparency and justice when it comes to regulating the sector.
That really, unfortunately, come as no surprise to our organization. The bad circumstances and situations that workers often face in these programs, really for us, we think that it's really a turning point, or it should be a turning point, to re-examine how well we actually respect basic human rights and labor laws when it comes to temporary foreign workers.
According to Ontario law, agricultural workers can't unionize. The workload is high and their rights are few. Their visas are closed, which means a conflict with the employer could lead to workers having to leave the country or not getting their contract renewed again. Experts say change can only happen with the intervention of the farmers' lobby and the province of Ontario.
Farmers have tended to oppose the unionization of these workers. They don't want them to have the right to strike. They argue that it would be very economically disastrous if they were to do so during the height of the harvesting season, right? The growing and the harvesting season is short. And if the Government of Canada got involved, you would have a much better chance of a nationwide kind of employment standard, housing conditions, but I don't see that happening. So it's really going to be the farmers themselves, and then whether the Ontario government thinks that this is something that they really do need to move on.
Canada's Minister of Employment addressed a letter to the Mexican government, promising severe sanctions for farmers who put the health of their workers at risk. As the virus spreads across southern Ontario, farmers are asking for more help from the provincial and federal governments.